A very warm welcome to you all to the one-on-one set. Our guest tonight is Mohnish Seewoonarain. He is a Kyokushin karate practitioner and coach. Kyokushin karate is in fact a martial art that is originated from Japan. It is based on the philosophy of discipline and hard training. Tonight, during this episode of One-on-One, Mohnish will share with us more about the purpose of Kyokushin karate. Mohnish, thank you so much for joining us in the studio of the MBC.
Thank you for inviting me.
Mohnish, you've been practicing Kyokushin karate for a few years.
Yes.
Explain to us, what is the purpose of Kyokushin karate?
Well, first of all, Kyokushin Karate was founded by Sosai Masutatsu Oyama in 1964. And Sosai, by the way, it means that he was the president, as he was the founder. So it is known to be a Japanese boxing style, and I define this martial art designed mainly for self-defense. It is one of the toughest karate so far, and it has real strenuous exercises that develop mental strength, concentration, focus in training, and helps anyone in daily life. So it develops discipline, humility, respect within oneself.
Many people actually have this perception that the martial arts or combat sports is only a means of self-defense.
Yes.
But would you say that Kyokushin karate is more efficient than just a form of self-defense?
Yes, in fact, Kyokushin has many katas as other martial arts styles. So, kata, by the way, means form that we practice generally, and it was created for self-defense, which includes joint locks, grabs, and throws. One has to practice again and again to master such delicate disciplines and techniques, and know the application, which is known as bunkai.
So tell us about your story concerning Kyokushin karate. How did you get involved in that sport, and what really inspired you to stick to it when it gets tough?
Yes, so now this year makes 19 years since I'm practicing Kyokushin karate. So when I was a kid, I was fond of kung fu movies. So one day my parents decided to register me in a dojo, which means the club, of the nearest place possible. Then what happened is that I was ignorant of what I was about to learn, and then I discovered Kyokushin. So I started at the age of 14, and today Kyokushin defines me for who I am. Then in my federation, I'm under the recognition of Kyokushin Ryu Karate Federation in Mauritius. So under my trainings and teachings of my Shihan Philip Mustache, which is All Africa Country Director, Shihan Rabindranath Sibran, which is the country director and branch chief of Mauritius, Shihan Dubori, who is the national coach, and Sensei Bimad Vinay, who is the secretary. Sorry. So Ryu is one of the best Kyokushin organizations so far in Mauritius, and when it became tough for me, I made up my mind to train, and never give up, as I always wanted to be a master, a teacher, and learn Kyokushin as much as possible.
So you always had this interest in sports?
Yes, because I'm physically active every day.
Okay. And over the course of its long and impressive history, Kyokushin karate has evolved and become, a dynamic and beautiful sport. There are so many people practicing this discipline now.
Yes.
So how do you think that Kyokushin karate can equip a person with the tools that he or she needs to ensure that the one is presented with the safest exit out of any conflict?
Yes, so first of all, karate means empty hand. Kara means empty, te means hand in Japanese. So Kyokushin teaches a student to use his or her own body as a weapon for defense. Then the hands, the feet, the knuckles, punches, and kicks all are involved. So it has to be real quick, based on instinct, on the spot, and that is why training, we maintain concentration and devotion while performing any physical exercise. Right, we are all bounded by fear. We have to accept that. So a martial artist has always to be on guard for defense mode, even when the situation becomes critical, or escape mode to avoid conflicts. we have to understand that the national laws, unfortunately, are not in our hands. So we teach peace and respect overall. Not all moves are allowed to be used on anyone, as we learn fatal blows for defense. Yet we are allowed to use that what we have learned for our own family protection, and however we teach self-defense with the weapon such as the bow staff, the stick.
Do we actually have different types of Kyokushin karate?
Yes, we have many federations so far because when Sosai Masutatsu Oyama died in 1994, the great grandmasters who existed in Japan have divided themselves into several federations. So now we are more than 10 federations worldwide.
Could you tell us more about the different types of karate that exist and how is Kyokushin different from one another?
Yes, we have many martial arts styles such as Shotokan karate, we have Goju-ryu karate, we have Shitoryu karate, we have many other styles such as Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and even Kung Fu, if you want, for China. But Kyokushin is different in such a way that it is a street fight. It teaches us that we can be in danger at any time. So you have to be mentally prepared and also physically prepared, because we do not train for today and only today, not for a competition. We train for a lifetime, for a purpose and for ourselves.
Would you also say that it is a form of a full body workout?
Yes, it is. It consists of many cardiovascular exercise diseases and stretching techniques, as well as speed. We train for speed, force, and focus.
Mohnish, when did you actually decide then to start coaching Kyokushin karate?
I started coaching when I was a blue belt, right? Back in college times. So I was fond of teaching. I have the art of teaching and the love for teaching. So it was challenging for me, and you have to have a lot of patience while teaching, because when I instruct someone, a student, I break moves into pieces right from the scratch till the student gets the right move, and I never let my student go until I do not find them ready to go forward by themselves.
It's quite challenging, I believe, because it is also a form of responsibility, right?
Yes.
To ensure that your students are not injured.
Yes, injury forms part of sport. Any sport you may have any kind of injury. We have to accept that. But when we train, we make our physical abilities more apt for getting stronger, and we make ourselves strong.
Mohnish, most karate classes start with relaxation and stretching exercises. Why would you say it is important to be mentally and physically relaxed before the training?
Yes, first of all, mentally relaxed is crucial, as one should forget everything and focus on the present training session only. And physically relaxed, I would say that it is also crucial because as you are about to train your body to avoid any sorts of physical injuries that we talked earlier during the sessions, so we have to be get ourselves mentally strong and both physically strong, not to hurt ourselves. So we must learn to tame our body to make it strong, and we are not only training our physique but also our Kyokushin spirit, as we say in Kyokushin karate.
So how are your classes normally conducted then? How many hours do you teach per day?
Yes, per week.
It's per
right?
week,
Yeah. For right now, once per week, so it's about 2 hours. And generally, my classes start out traditionally as all Kyokushin classes start in Mauritius and also in Japan, because it is a culture that originated from Japan, and it is followed from letter by letter. Okay, I'm not getting the expression. So it starts with salutations to our founder, and if ever there are also other instructors, we have to salute them, and salutation in between the teacher, the instructor, and the students also. So it follows with stretching, And then we go for the basics, which we call kihon. And then for march walk with techniques, which we call idogeiko. And kata, that means the forms. It depends on what we need to train. Other days we might have combat drills. It all depends. And cardio exercises and core strength training.
Mohnish, we've seen that in some videos. There are some, etiquettes when it comes to enter the dojo, even leave the dojo, like bowing. And so what is the significance of those etiquette, and are there any other customary etiquette that one should follow in the dojo?
Yes. As I told earlier, it's a culture from Japan. So when you bow, there are 3 types of bowing. In fact, yeah, we do not take those types of bowing in consideration. Once you bow, you bow. That's it. There is the 45-degree angle, the 60-degree angle, and the 30-degree angle of bowing. So when you bow to someone, you are showing respect. You're saluting, and you are also showing respect. In Japanese, it's called ojigi. Ojigi. So it is very rare in Japan to see someone shaking hands or giving kisses or even hugging. It is very rare. So at any age group, you just bow. That's it. You show ultimate respect. So it is same for martial art. Yeah.
And what are the aspects that one should take into consideration before, joining a Kyokushin karate class?
So, it brings discipline in someone's life. So they have to take into consideration that they are going to learn something new. So it is a long journey. So
age is not a factor. Anyone can join at any age.
Yes, starting as from the age of 5 till up. Unlimited.
And share also with us about the different techniques that we have in this discipline. What is the principle of all?
So the different techniques, as mentioned before, is about self-defense. So what we focus is mainly on the application of those techniques when we are practicing. You must have an imaginary opponent in front of you. So when you practice, or even you can image yourself in front of you, that you are your own opponent and how you would tackle yourself in any difficult situation. So application is very important, which involves joint locks, because as you know, the world is becoming very dangerous.
So it's also important to be very consistent, right, in the training?
Yes. You should be consistent. You should be keep on the practice anytime, any place, anywhere, wherever you can.
You've mentioned earlier that conditioning is pivotal in Kyokushin karate due to the high intensity of the martial art. So how is Kyokushin karate a form of fitness, and in what ways can it help maybe to improve flexibility or even our balance?
So it improves flexibility with stretching. It starts with some gymnastics move, because gymnastics is the mother of all sports. So we include a bit of yoga also in it while doing stretching. So then when you're doing some stretches, you tend to relax your muscle before any strenuous physical exercises. So not to also to prevent injuries as well. Yeah, not to get injured. So it brings balance in terms of mental focus and even in our daily lives. Yeah.
And what about the nutrition? Can we eat before practicing Kyokushin, or is it recommended to eat after? How does it go exactly?
Yeah, it's more or less same like you're going to the gym, right? So you have to eat at least 2 hours before training, or if you could not, 1 hour. Yeah, and after training also the meal is very important, because the meal helps us to heal and to build our body. So it is recommended not to eat too much heavy foods also before training, because you don't know what is waiting for you in training. It is very
intense.
Yes, very intense. So if you are about to eat something light, so I would suggest chocolate, right? A piece of
Sweets.
chocolate, yes, sweets, not too much, but one slab. That's it. Apples, if you want, banana, if you want, fruits, and a little well-balanced meal, if possible, or else that's it. But 2 hours earlier, you should eat.
Mohnish, Kyokushin Karate doesn't only just teach students on how to defend themselves or bring only physical benefits to them. Could you share with us how the sports have contributed to your emotional health as well?
Yes, first of all, it does bring discipline, as I mentioned earlier. So it helps students to exploit their own physical capacities in any possible way. So in my case, I was already in love with martial arts, so I continued to dig further with training to find my true self and using the martial way, which is called the Budo. And then I had a student once who told me that she came to learn self-defense, but during training, it happened that she learned new things exceptionally, and which she did not expect, and she did not even find with the other martial art teachers. So it helped her develop herself in a more disciplined way. And I had some other acquaintances, students, who told me that other fighting arts have no discipline as such comparable to that of Kyokushin Karate.
So, in that sense, would you say that the philosophy of karate, Kyokushin Karate, can be applied to the philosophy of life too?
Yes, it's a daily life, it's a way of life, in fact. Yes.
And teaching martial arts is not so easy. Share with us the challenges that you had to face as a coach, as a Kyokushin coach. And how did you try to overcome those challenges?
Yes, so as you know, life is becoming difficult and more dangerous day by day. So it is important to learn how at least to defend oneself and be alert all the time. So there is no regret in learning that art. And I think that for our own security aspect, it is essential though.
Okay. And what would you like the most to make your students understand of tatami as well?
So for tatami, you always finish and start with humility. It is very important. You always give respect to others, even if respect is not served or earned. And always be grateful and thankful to teachers, friends, or fighting opponent. And when you fight for a good cause, for your self-development. If you compete and you do not win any competition, you should always take the situation in a positive way. And you should know that you did your best, and you should be thankful for being strong yourself, courageous, and standing on the tatami.
You've been practicing the sport for around 19 years now, right?
Yes.
So do you think it's positive for this discipline to evolve?
Yes, with a positive and strong mindset, it should evolve for better purposes in any individual's life. So when there is a will, there is a way.
You've also pointed out earlier that you started when you were a blue belt.
Yes.
Can you share with us about the different types of belt that we have in Kyokushin Karate? Give us a brief summary of them.
Yes, so it starts at beginner's level, so white belt, and then followed by red belt, orange belt, blue belt, yellow, green, brown, and finally black.
Can you tell us about them? What is exactly
Yes.
the color of each belt?
Yeah, so colored belts are known as Kyo. Kyo means student or boy, if this is correct. And Dan means for upper belts, for known as men. It has golden stripes on it. So Kyo for students, it means that they are still growing up while practicing karate, but when you reach your first black belt, this is now where the real journey of karate starts.
We are actually drawing toward the end of this episode, but before that, Mohnish, what are your objectives as a Kyokushin Karate coach?
To exploit more and more the application of the katas and defense moves learned, we have to learn to act quick, to develop good reflex, and when we are exposed to danger, we have to become very alert. That's it, yeah.
And what's your advice to youngsters, to our audience, to encourage them to learn a martial art, if not Kyokushin karate?
So never be afraid of your surrounding. First of all, never think you are too weak to learn karate or any other martial art. Karate can start at any age, and always have faith in yourself. No matter how hard the training can be, always believe in yourself to learn something new. You will learn to have better control of yourself with this art, and there is no regret in joining our family. It might be a long journey, but it will surely be fruitful to you.
Thank you, Mohnish. It was a delight to have you on the set tonight and learn more about this beautiful martial art form.
Most welcome.
Dear viewers, we have now come to the end of this episode. Thank you for your time. We hope to catch you next week at the same time, same channel. Have a great evening.